Hey everybody, Hoang here, and today I'm going to showcase the Mamemon fused into the Ultimate Digimon deck that I showcased on Taste of Victory's most recent gameplay video. I made this mostly as a meme, and then a lot more people than I expected asked for the whole list. So I decided to do a very quick deck profile over it because, you know, it's Mamemon. Mamemon is a fan favorite, it's an off-meta deck, and yeah, it'll be really cool. I made a showcase video to demonstrate the combo itself, so that way it'll make a lot more sense when you guys see it, so, you know, enjoy. Alright everyone, I'm going to do a little bit of a showcase to demonstrate the Mamemon combo, so you can see it actually in action, but how it goes. And so, let's say hypothetically this is our opponent's board. It's a very generic Jessamon board, right? You have both sisters, Jessamon, and then we threw in a little extra Hakamon, okay? And this is our setup. You know, it's very akin to the Lilith Loop setup, so, you know, if you can do it in Lilith Loop, you can definitely do it in here. Okay, we drop our turn, cool. We start our turn on 3, because of Mamemon. Mamemon is a white memory tamer, and we also have our memory boost, cool. We have Ganku, so what we're gonna do is, we're gonna go memory boost, go to 5, go into our first Gokumon. Okay, now Gokumon's gonna allow us to draw 1. Gokumon effect now will resolve, popping the lowest cost Digimon, all of them. So both of these are 3 costs, so they're gone. Okay, now we're gonna go into our Mega Digimon Fusion, go into our Zwart, alright? Now this costs 0 because of the Mega Digimon Fusion, we draw 1 for Digivolve, and then we're gonna mill the top 3 because of Zwart's effect. Okay, and then from there we will call 2 Digimon with a play cost of 12 or less. Not 12 or less, but 8 or less, rather. My apologies. So we're going to call it double Mamemon, okay? And then from here, we're going to swing Zwart effect to add back the Gokumon to our hand, okay? This will allow us to pop a Digimon with 12 cost or less. We're going to pop Jessamon, okay? We're going to do a damage, you know, hypothetically, let's say we do the damage, cool. Alright, and then after that, on your final play, you're going to go into Gokumon. Okay, you're gonna pass on 3, draw, affect a Gokumon, remove the Sistermon Noir, and the stack will die. But as you can see, we managed to clear 4 bodies as well as generate 2 new ones, one of which is a decoy and the other is a level 6. So this adds a lot of pressure. This means you can also threaten another Mega Digimon Fusion combo, hypothetically if you had it. Also, just Gokumon is great pressure in general because he gets +1 security attack if your opponent has a Digimon that is unsuspended. So yeah, really strong setup, and you don't necessarily have to go for this line of play. You could also, for example, have gone into Mechanorimon, revive that, because that's really great against Rookie Rush Bond of Friendships decks and others, whatnot. You can also revive into various other targets, really, right? We have Andromon in the deck as well, if you want a level 5 blocker, if you want to go about that, and yeah. Alright, and now finally we have the deck list. The purpose of this deck is entirely to focus on the combo of Mega Digimon Fusion and Ripamame. So the deck choices are especially catered towards that, but understandably, if you want to go for a more generic route, if you want to try and make that a bit more of a toolbox variant, that's totally acceptable. But for the specific purposes of this list, it is focused on the turbo. On the side, I've also listed out the steps to the combo in case you missed anything in the little tutorial. But without further ado, let's get started. So we have the 4 Pagumon. Pagumon is the most generic black egg. It works in every single situation black will find itself in. The other eggs are a bit hit or miss because they're all conditional of some variety. Do you have reboot? Do you have jamming? Do you not jamming? But do you have blocker? Are you a level 7, etc.? And so because they all hit or missed on certain conditions, I didn't feel it was appropriate to play them. Hence we play the Pagumon because it just works for everything. We play the 1 Gokumon. The reason we play Gokumon is because our end goal is going to 7. So you might as well just throw that in there because we're more likely to have a 7 than we are going to be any of the other eggs, really. We play 2 Commandramon. It's just to end turn and choke your opponent a little bit. It also gives us a little bit of pressure. This deck noticeably does rely on the combo a little bit more than other decks, right? This specific build, right, is just combo or bust, and so as a result we play low cost bodies in order to balance it out, right? So if we don't find our combo, or maybe we brick, then we're able to play these low cost bodies to try and keep tempo to some degree, hence to Commandramon. We play 2 Chumon. Memory boost is still extremely important in this format. You have to play at least 2 memory boosts if you have access to those cards. Normally we do see 3, but because again combo focused, we only play 2. And of course you can also rip Chumon off of the Zwart. That's also a potential viability. For Chikurimon is always going to be an amazing card. While it is not the best Zwart target to call off of, we do have to take into account what the meta holds. Noticeably, we have a lot less security bombs in the average deck because we're trying to make room for the combo. So as a result, we do have to play some semblance of security bomb in the form of the Lego itself. We play 4 Toei Agumon. This is the Toei Agumon that if your opponent does not swing, you do draw a card. The reason we play the Toei Agumon is because it is a combo-oriented deck, which means we want to draw cards. So ideally, you have your Steelsdramon, your Mechanorimon, your Andro, DT, whatever it may be, some variants of blocker, have the Toei Agumon underneath it. And you want to dissuade your opponent from swinging, right? If they swing, they get blocked, or maybe they, lose their stack to security, whatever it may be. And if they don't swing, then you start to draw those additional cards, which is really valuable. I'm a little iffy on this ratio itself, honestly. This could be like maybe a 2 or 3 of, but the idea behind drawing additional cards in a super heavy focus deck like this made a lot of sense to me. But I definitely could see increasing the Commandramon ratio or the Chumon ratio in exchange for this. Now we play 4 Numemon. Normally we do see Tankmon as of recent, but the reason we play Numemon is because, like we mentioned before, this deck has a strong emphasis on its combo, and so we want to play cards that are relatively cheap in cost so that if we do brick or we can't find combo, then we're able to keep playing the game. Numemon excels in this category because we can hard slam Numemon, go into the Warumazemon for 2, and then we can go into our 6, and that's a really cheap way to go about it. Your inheritables, and you're not looking at Digiburst too often either, really don't matter here, and so as a result, we can play Numemon as if it were a level 3 and go from there. We play 1 Steelsdramon. Steelsdramon is a 6k blocker, so if we revive it, it does block certain thresholds. It's also great into the bond matchups. 6k also dodges certain things, such as the Nidhoggmon, which we may still see, certain variants of DP yellow minus, and so on and so on. We play 2 Mechanorimon. Mechanorimon is an absolutely fantastic card. It hits the bond decks really hard, not letting them swing, not letting them get their chip. So for example, Promo Greymon would then have to hit 7k to beat over it, which isn't asking for a lot, but at the same time, they also run the risk of running into any of your Digimon that will kill it, so that's also something to consider. Mechanorimon is also a great Omnimon Zwart target to call off of, so if you don't want to end turn with double 5, then you can call the Mechanorimon instead, and that's totally acceptable. Sometimes you want to end board on Mame Mechanori, and that's really strong itself. We play 2 Machmon, because if you can't find your Mamemon to revive, then you can revive the Machmon, and it will serve a very similar purpose, and that's totally acceptable. 3 Dark Tyrannomon. Dark Tyrannomon is a blocker for the bond matchup. While it does get bot decked by Gokumon and popped by Balhackmon, it still is a 1-cost blocker, and speed is everything in this deck. We want to get to our combo as soon as possible. In our level 5s, we play 1 Andromon. Andromon is just there for if you call him off. If you need a blocker, you can rip it off of the Zwart, and that's really strong. 4 Warumazemon, because we want to turbo into combo. Warumazemon, again, it falls into the ideology of if you brick, you can slam, and from that slam, we can go into combo. 3 Mamemon. Mamemon is, the face of the deck, right? But Mamemon isn't a blocker, he's only a decoy. But the really cool part about Mamemon, right, is that when Mamemon is destroyed, you actually are able to pop one of your opponent's Digimon. I believe if they have, I want to say 7 or 6 play cost or less. I believe it's 7 actually. That's pretty cool because it ends up trading 1 for 1 a lot more than you realize. In our level 6, 3 Black Metal Garurumon. A lot of people are gonna want to play 4 Black Metal Garurumon, and I understand that because of the 3 cost is really nice. That means you're less reliant on the memory boost, but the reason why we don't is because Metal Garurumon, when you digivolve into it off of the Zwart target, it will have only 1 source, meaning you cannot digiburst, and that's not very cash money per se. So we play the 4 Gokumon instead. Gokumon being able to work off of the 1 source, it allows you to guarantee you get that pop, and the pop is really the main focus of this entire setup. Off of the Gokumon, if you go into that, you end up popping 3 bodies, which is huge, versus if you go into the Metal Garurumon, you are guaranteed to pop 1, potentially pop 2, right? Because Metal Gurumon, you're either pop 1 Digimon or you burn 1 security, and the pop is not always guaranteed because it has to be a play cost of a certain amount. I haven't looked at it in a second, I just woke up, but it is a relatively low play cost. I think it's like 60 or less maybe, so that's really easy to play around, and so as a result, the security burn is really cool and everything, but if you're only getting it once versus 3 pop, then you take the 3 pop. We play 3 Zwart because even without the Mega Digimon Fusion, going into Zwart is still extremely powerful because we still have amazing cult targets via Mechanori or Mamemon. 3 Memory Boost. Memory Boost not only finds us our pieces to digivolve into, but also it allows us to do the Gokumon evolution play without passing turn, and that's super important. 2 Mega Digimon Fusion. Mega Digimon Fusion is at 2, and despite me putting a lot of emphasis on, hey, this entire deck hinges off the combo, I do want to emphasize that the fact that that is still a white option card, and we're most likely only going to resolve combo once per game, so any more has diminishing value. So we only play 2 because if you're generally bound to see it, given that Digimon you cycle so much throughout this game, but overall, you can also play the game without it. You can just do a regular Zwart, you can also look for regular pressure off of Gokumon, etc. And then we play 3 Menowa. Menowa is the white memory tamer. The second effect where it searches for AOs to tamer, it's like whatever, we really don't care about that. We really just care about the fact that it is a white memory tamer, so it serves the purpose of activating our Mega Digimon Fusion, as well as giving us that guaranteed 3 memory. A lot of decks going forward will start to see that Menowa is going to be their choice if enabler for the Mega Digimon Fusion would no longer have to rely on the Mat and Tai or Aiba, and that's really, really cool. But yeah, guys, so that is the Mega Digimon Fusion Mamemon deck profile, right? If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop it down below. Like I said before, you definitely can change this deck into a more toolbox variant where you're playing the regular Royal Knight setup. You can just make the Fuse engine into a small package, and that's super acceptable as well. There's a lot of ways to approach this deck, but this is specifically for the haha funny meme value. But thank you guys for watching and hope you enjoyed. Thanks.